make sure it's up and running. Perfect. So you should be able to see me in there. So red, orange, and yellow guy. So yeah, this will work in my favor. That means I'm the hottest thing in the frame right now. Sorry, Josh. But again, I make the joke because you're going to need to know that. So we're looking for those cold spots. They're going to be blue and black. That's the way this is set up. So white hot, black cold. The blue and black areas, they're always going to have them. I'm looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what we've caught in the past. Hopefully that's what we'll capture again. Now, I also love to give you guys stats about the equipment you're about to use. I capture about 4 to 5 pieces on this guy per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not per episode. I do this over 200 times a year, guys. So again, put that stuff in perspective. Do I have dozens upon dozens of maybes and I'm not really sures? Yes. But the stamp of approval, about 4 to 5 a year. Cool thing about this guy, where those maybes come from, is the blue dot that's bouncing around the screen. It is there showing you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So it's always going to land on windshields or aluminum can on the ground and so forth and so on. I am looking for 15-degree temperature drops that are moving around in a weird, anomalous ways. So it is about, I think I wrote down 76 degrees out here for us tonight. So it's going to be 61 degrees and colder that I'm looking for out of that blue dot. If I find one, obviously I will give you screenshots to show you how it moved, where it was at, and all of the markers to be able to go look at it yourself. So that's the cool thing about this particular camera. So with this one, and you can stay within the group. So we're going to like what's going to happen here. And you won't record in between spaces. Nobody liked the Blair Witch Project, so we shouldn't re-record it. So normally, I'll kind of give you the heads up, like, hey, hit the record button, and then give your hands a break. So when we kind of regroup, every space we go to will be a little bit different of how we investigate it. This one, we are fortunate. On a Friday night, there is only one truck in here. Wow, I am floored. So we will spread out after I give you the history. I'll do a couple of round robins. Like I said, I will probably, play around with that new little gizmo gadget that I bought and kind of see how it works if I get anything at all. So I'll do a few round robins, write some notes, and I'll regroup us so that way I can show you how it all ties together if we had anything at all. Is that fair to everybody? Yeah. All right. Welcome to a parking lot. Congrats. You made it. Told you to take it. Here. Right? It's expensive in here. And you guys said you parked at the Cumberland garage, and then you guys were down by the market, right? Yeah. Okay. And you guys got a meter? Yeah. Okay. And you didn't pay for it? No. Good. 3 after 6. But this place, all communication devices, so that's everybody but Josh. This is where I start withholding information on purpose. So I will not be giving you questions here, like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will get the answers from your communicators. That's how this is going to go. But this place used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with 5 Church Restaurant and came all the way across. We are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? By the way, do you have something going on?
Oh, it said victim. Right when we walked into this area, it switched to victim. And it stayed victim until literally I went to go show him, and then it went to medium. But it was
victim is definitely not relevant here. You'll see that in just a second.
There's a lot of screaming happening right now.
It's true. That's only because they're eating at, what's that barbecue place over there? That's the bathrooms that you're hearing.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I got jokes too. That's the whole point if I have fun with this. Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks in case nobody was paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. I need to know in the event that the name Charles shows up somewhere, which one it is. They're all 3 different men, right? They don't want to be addressed the same way. So that's why names are so important to me, why I had to have all of your names down, which, by the way, my name is Nick, in case the people that you came with did not tell you what my name was. So it's on the vest. You have 1 name, I have 4. So I will win almost every time. But anyway, back to the son and the nephew. They were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us. I know you guys all live here now, and I don't give a shit about politics, so we're going to move on. So the reason I bring it up is because if I don't, the gentleman will bring it up for me in a very nasty manner on a spirit box that I did not give them their recognition. Yes, happens quite often if I don't do it. So we're going to move on. I've already done it. We're going to talk about Eliza instead. She has a much better history. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from colonial days when young ladies got married at the ages of 12 and 14, right? So think of today's standards because the husband is over double her age. It's creepy then, creepy now. Just going to put that out there. We don't have that kind of age gap between the people in here tonight, so I'm good to go. So, moving on. She married him because her father was over in England, where her family is from. Dad thinks he's dying over there and wants to bring all of his children home one last time. Well, Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here, got married. It is 1744. You do not get married in that year to earn a green card because we are not a country yet. There wasn't such a thing. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story. Nothing horrific or victimized about this location. So, now that you kind of know that, by the way, it is definitely a place of respect, so be respectful while we're here. She was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England right to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant, some of you might already know, that makes blue dye. So that's what we use for our blue jeans. That's how we make them blue. Now, when she got her seeds, no idea what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. You guys all know it's not always hot here. We all live here, so it does get chilly. You guys haven't lived here long enough, but yes, it will get chilly in the winter months. So when she learned how to keep it going, she learned how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop down by the Stono River, got a hold of her dad and told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. Now, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys showed up. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you guys focus questions. You can either say these things out loud or ask them, or you can just focus on them. I'm here pretty much on a nightly basis. She knows what you're going to ask. So I want you to also keep in mind we have one camera, my voice recorder, and 4 different devices that can communicate. So Kendra, if you're asking a question, that answer can go to any of the other devices that I've already mentioned. You're going to tell me all the silly things that you're hearing, same thing out of your spirit box, because you don't know what they're asking. So here, we're going to go left to right. Yeah, this is going to work out well. This is weird. I don't think I've ever had this set up before. Starting off with Eliza's initials is what you're going to be looking for. And of course, any words that are spelled out that are 3 letters or more. Don't give me words like the, and, that kind of bullshit. We don't need that. We
I had
want
fall
actual...
earlier.
You had what?
Fall.
I'll write it down just because anything it spells out, that's how I learn about it. I've only had it for like a year and a half now. But Eliza's full initials are E-L-E. You don't know what the L stands for. That's what you're going to be looking for on your word generator. The reason I'm telling you both this is because Eliza, the one I just told you about, is the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. First wife named Eliza died in January. 5 months later, he marries the one I just told you about with the indigo. Kind of a jerk move, or really smart, depending on what kind of gentleman you are. Now, so ironically, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L, so they both have the same exact initials. Hopefully you get the initials, hopefully you get the which Eliza are we dealing with. So now we have 3 Chucks, 2 Elizas. There's one more set of people with the same name. We're gonna get into that. So Kendra, your device gives us a lot. So you get the most bountiful set of questions, which are about Eliza's death. She's pretty open about it. 4 majors that we get the answers to. Age, how she died, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. You're going to get the answers from the spirit box. So again, these are just common things that she would like you to know. So last but not least, your other spirit box, Nicole, only gives us 1 to 2 syllable answers at a time. You're going to be focused on the mansion as well. It's not here. What happened to it? If you get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. It just gave you a clue that it was indeed a tragedy. So kind of keep that in the back of your brain. And remember, the answer can also go to your other device as well, or anybody else's. So we are going to take a few you guys are going to take a few round robins. You already know how to turn that thing on and off. Normally I would leave that person behind so I can show them how to do it and like what to look for. But again, you have Eliza's initials. You know how to spell out 3-letter words or more. So that's super great. But again, nice slow motions with that. Anybody that walks through here, you're just going to point your camera directly at the ground because you're just holding a cell phone at that point. Yeah. That way they don't know what the hell you're actually up to. Definitely just stay away from that truck over there in the corner. We have plenty of room to not be in that truck.
Okay.
So
Dumpster.
I know, right?
Can I turn this on?
Oh yeah, you're good. Unmute it, get to work. I'm going to actually hook up that little microphone and start listening to myself. I'm going to switch up with all of you guys.
Begin.
Begin.
I had 3 earlier.
Okay, so now don't give me anything below a 3. Okay. Spread out, everybody. I gotta hook up this microphone. Jeff, go to work.
It's a really cold spot right here.
Something's right here.
Like right there.
Here in this corner. What do you see over here?
It's just there was like a black spot that was like right there.
I just have to use the voice recorder that we're using for this for now. You guys already have the history, so we'll see what happens. Anything coming out of that spirit box yet?
Just a bunch of random jitters like that. Nothing too clear.
Yeah, you're not going to hear nearly as much as what Kendra's got going on.
Mhm.
So you have that idea.
Hotter and different.
Building now.
Build. Yeah, it's been
Build.
on build for a little while. Have a mansion here. Something happened to you in your mansion? It's a beautiful place to live.
I would have liked to see the indigo farms.
Right?
Those
Growing
little-
indigo. That would have been beautiful. Being a businesswoman in that time. You're incredible. Soil.
It's the soil. Wonder if that's what her servants taught her, is it was the soil.
That is the first thing you need to know for gardening is some soil. Was it hard to garden back then? I've never grown an indigo plant. Where are you? You over in this corner?
spot right here is extremely cold. Wonder if this is where she stood and like looked out her window.
Savannah.
Is that where you like to visit?
Huh?
Savannah, Georgia's just right down the
I
road.
switched to Savannah when I stood in that spot.
You guys want to hear what this sounds like?
Sure.
So go ahead and put your thing on mute.
You have to hold it.
No, just have it. Yeah, I'm going to take it. You take those and put them on.
Controversy.
So we're standing near the electrical pole. So that buzz you're seeing
Yeah.
is pretty steady, and she's not getting readings from it. That's a good thing. Because if that thing spikes, because you know that pole over there is giving off a steady rhythm out. So if it doesn't, if it changes, then we know we actually have something going on. Does that make sense?
It's crazy. So it's like a humming.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it's directional, so you can almost hear what direction it's coming from. So I can even pick up on that one there from back here because it's
Okay.
directional. Did you want to give it a quick listen?
Sure.
Just slap those on and I'll point it in the right direction.
I'm gonna be blocking the camera itself.
Change it.
Okay.
See where it's directional? That's what we were wondering. Was it going to be directional? And what's nice is you can still hear me while you're listening to it.
Yeah. That's cool.
So the hope here is that if it changes, there might be a voice. That's the okay. So give this back to you so the ladies can give us a quick listen. Now that we're testing it out.
Okay. Right.
Why are you
What's it
still
say?
here?
R.I.P.?
Yeah, R.I.P. Why are you still here? There's something here that keeps you still here? Why this spot? Whole family and you sound like innovators. Sound like amazing people.
What was this section of the mansion?
The lights turn on for the
Suddenly.
Can you even hear me? You know that I'm talking to you, or do you think I'm just talking? Elena.
Elena.
Close.
Okay, I don't know.
Do you know that? Do you know anything about me? Express. Just to go back to where the indigo like group sits right here. Do you like it here? Do you like how busy it is, or do you miss your quiet, peaceful garden?
Happiness. Both.
That's It is beautiful still, I have to say. For being a city, this is one of the more gorgeous cities I've ever seen.
Do you like the horses being right by your mansion?
Do you like having the horses next to you? What happened to your mansion? I heard it was tragic. I didn't hear the story though.
Alright, we getting anything out of that device?
A little bit. I asked a question and it answered me pretty directly.
What
When
was
I
it?
was walking around, I asked if you liked it here and if you miss your garden or if you like it how it is now, and said happiness in both,
Oh.
which that
Yeah, back to back it said happiness and then
it's been
switched
kind
over
of
to
like
both.
taking a while to switch, and that one went happiness both, like kind of
Pretty quick.
Yep.
quick.
So you did ask a yes no question,
Yes.
and then kind of converted it. So good job. So that's always you guys always get used to. Like, you'll see, like I'll call you out on it. Like if you asked a yes no question, I'll tell you. You know, in some instances that's okay. You know, not necessarily with a 1 or 2 word answer box.
Yeah.
So have we heard anything from that guy yet?
Just sounds like radio stations coming through.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
To remember,
That's
it's going to be a DJ telling you to go buy a Nissan.
Yeah.
You don't know that we're not standing next to a place where somebody lived and built a part for a Nissan.
yeah.
So that's kind of how this works. So that's why I always say, like, tell me all the silly things that you're hearing. Even if it's a song lyric, I don't want to know that you heard Stairway to Heaven, you know, or Robert Plant. Tell me what you heard the lyric, Stairway to Heaven. Because that's all I care about, because our ghost is not going to know who Robert Plant is.
Every now and then it comes in clear and it's like, all right, and then it'll kind of do the, and
Yeah.
then like everyone's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, very quick little, like I said,
Yeah.
1 or 2 syllables. So, fall camera, check 7.2. I don't have to write the word down because it does it for me. But no other direct words came out of that like besides the all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that I like he took over on it, but yeah, I've been trying to listen to it and not been able to really pick up on too much.
Can you bring up the word list? Have you figured that out?
How do you feel?
Okay. And you'll be able to scroll through everything that we've had so far. Just try not to hit the red X. Take it out. I like the harvest only because we are still near this location. So it's vague, but I still like it. But everything else seems pretty weak. The number 10 in there, I'll dive into that. I love names and numbers. That's factual data that we can, and that was obviously when we were here because it said begin.
That's right when we got in. So we walked into the parking lot and it was that, and then that's where it began.
And when you were talking about the names, Ava came up. When you were
when
talking about the brothers.
names, Ava came up. That's when the names and the brothers and the story, and then 10 came up right after that. And then we were talking about her plants, and if you liked growing indigo,
Soil.
and if it was difficult to grow, if you found it difficult and everything like that, and soil.
And it's
So
great
then-
to use those words, like to try to keep the conversation going because you don't know what's going to stick and what's not.
And then I was quiet for a while, and it said stream after controversy stream. I was off. And then I was like, okay, I started looking around. Do you know anything about me? And it said Eleanor. And then like when you started asking about gardening and stuff.
Okay. So a little bit going on there. She did hear the number 17 coming out of the trigger box, which is something she heard. And you have the number 10. So I'm going to say about 40% of 10 is a relevant date to this location. You can kind of see that. So, or it could be 1710. So I'm going to dive into both and see where that goes. I don't know if 1710 is going to be relevant for Elijah's time, but not after the husbands. I'm going to have to dive in and see when he was actually born. Very interesting pieces, but again, 1017 could be the thing. I don't know. It might be. But yeah, I'll give you guys another minute or two. I'm going to do another round robin with them, and then I'm going to pull us all back to the back again. Her EMF readings and my non-findings are showing me we don't have a whole lot going on in here tonight. And again, I don't like to waste time. I don't want to waste your guys' time. You guys. Yep. Top right. Poverty. She was definitely not in poverty.
Yeah. Mansion. Cool.
Yeah, so.
Sure there was people around. Is it too busy of a night tonight? Too many people out?
It is a Friday night.
It is Friday the 13th as well.
That's true.
I think I would be nervous to be here with so many people.
Thirsty.
Me too. Yeah, it's having it closer to my ears. Not yet.
Not yet.
Flash forward.
That's forward. Yeah, so it's like your parents.
Jasmine, you got anything?
Fall.
Okay, we're gonna call it wraps on this one.
Okay.
Just because again, it's pretty light. So you're 7.2. I mean, it's not that it's not exciting. It's just not exciting for this location. I'll explain that like once we get back to the back. We have a little bit of something going on with like the regenerative list, things that could have coincided with 217. So again, I don't know yet. I'm not afraid to say that I don't know something. That's actually where I get excited, by the way, because that means I get to research shit. I am a writer. Like that's where my forte falls into play. So let's go ahead and hit that stop button and give your hand. But we also have my voice recorder. If we'll capture a disembodied whistle, more than likely it's going to come from one of the two devices. So I have more cameras, so larger groups, we have more cameras running. We have better options, better odds. So I will tell you, if you're going to try this on your own, because you guys all live relatively nearby, and you walk down this alley all the way through and use your voice recorders from your phones, just remember, every local, besides the two of you apparently, knows the damn story. So anybody
Once
walking
you
up
said the whistling, I was like, aha.
I seen the aha.
Yeah, the aha.
But anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. I used to do it all the time when my garage was on the opposite side of the city, and especially since I got thrown out of here. So let's talk about that for just a minute. Yeah, there's some legitimacy to those whistles, by the way. We've caught quite a bit. We've caught whistling parts of songs and the word doctor immediately after from a commercial. So take that for what it's worth. Also, the crazy voice recorder that I tried to use the little EMF thing on earlier, we caught it down here when I was testing that out in different locations. So we've caught whistles here in the past, nobody around. So this alley used to be called Cow Alley before Dueler's Alley. So I'm taking you further back. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because there was a wall up there halfway between us and Cumberland Street. It was a dead end. The reason I'm telling you that is because that means the bricks on the other side are older than the ones you're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that damn brick. The kid is not staring at the brick in the afterlife. Yeah, exactly. November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there. Group of 10, and they all stopped and huddled around the damn brick, waiting for something to happen with the gear that I handed them. Nothing's happening. I'm trying to shoot them along because we're also outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. My daughter was on the tour that night, and the new owner came out, and he was screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical that her dad was getting yelled at work. She thought it was great. Yeah, we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. Before I started doing this, I worked in upper management for Walmart. You guys all like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving ever again. Now, the next day after that, I was with a partner who brought me into tourism. I called him and told him what happened with the neighbor. He laughed, A, because he already knew about the complaint that came through the tourism office, and secondly, because I was in the wrong. He's like, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. And, you know, that's the cutoff point. So you're gonna have to reroute your group tonight. Well, guess what? It's Black Friday. I'm sold out again because my tickets were way cheaper back then. Not to mention, I'm usually sold out, not based on ticket price. But anyway, I told my team that night, I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. It's just not my thing. And I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of there too. So we had to change things up. But before we left the space, the young person with the spirit box just heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. Anne Bonny, the female pirate. I was like, oh shit. So I took him around the corner and told him what I knew about pirates in Charleston, which wasn't much. Quick data research, you get the point. And somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. Don't know what that means. Wrote it down, did the research the next morning for them. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. I mean, normally I get those like, oh, that's pretty cool kind of looks like what you guys are giving me right now. I was pissed off. I have a master's degree in creative writing. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. When I'm researching anything, especially anything paranormal, I need facts and data. Those pirate lore stories were written 100 years after the days of Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. That's a problem. Whenever you guys found something, I had to read a shit ton of books to kind of verify what the hell was going on with it. That's a lot of research. I know more about pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life, and now I can't even tell you the story anymore. That's what sucks. Here's what's going to happen at the next location. Because it looks like there's going to be a lot of tours. I kind of was eyeballing our area over there.
Yeah.
So we're going to skip the normal ending for other tours, which is fine because I'm trying to get rid of that story anyway. We're going to go straight into the story I'm trying to develop. We're going to swap out cameras, what Josh is using, because we're going to be hopefully looking for some apparitions in that cemetery. I'll give you the history of what I know so far of what my research has brought me to, and it's kind of a weird tale because it's a story within a story. Part of it is definitely factual data. The other part of it is partially hearsay. So it's a matter of like, we're going to try to prove or debunk what's actually going on up there, but based on what me going through the other tours over the past 2 years of me doing the pirate story, I can find traces of that, which is right next door to where I would tell you the pirate story in that particular set of data. So I was finding all kinds of little tiny subtle clues, and I have a disembodied voice of the young girl's name. So again, very weird, creepy stuff. I'm hoping to capture more while we're actually there. Any other major questions about dueling or Dr. Ladd before we leave the space? Anything going on with the word bank?
No, it stayed on the same word beginning for the longest time, then it just went to muscle and ask us. But like pretty much the whole duration of us being here, it just was on beginning.
Okay. Any words or numbers that I need to know about?
I've had the same 5 letters since we got here.
Wow, what are the 5 letters?
Y, Y, A, B, B.
What are the last 3 again?
A, B, B.
A, B, B. And Bonnie. Again, it's just because we're not investigating that space doesn't mean it doesn't come through.
Yeah.
I've been seeing those traces still because we're going to be in the general area. So very interesting. Did you hear anything, or were you totally focused on me?
I was trying to bounce in between.
It's hard to
but
do with me talking as
It
quickly
is,
as I do.
but I'd hear like really, really deep, low, like male voice, but I couldn't like make out what it'd be.
Okay.
By the
This
time
one
I
just-
turned the volume up, it'd be too loud.
Popped up saying shooting.
Imagine that while we're in Dueler's Alley. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here before they do. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go. Drop it around. Love it. Shooting.